it once.
Oh. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, you
But
did
it was in
once.
French.
It was in French, but you recorded it while we were here in the US.
Yeah.
Huh.
And here we go. Welcome, guys, to the Right Boundless podcast. You said the drive over here was very simple?
Yeah, we live in Hollywood, so it was like maybe 15 minutes. So
Oh, yeah.
Super
Yeah, just
easy.
101.
Yeah, really good sometime when you just take like, okay, 10 minutes, that's fine. Okay, good.
Yeah. No, isn't it weird how, I mean, does this happen in France? LA is the only place that I know of that people measure distance by time.
Yeah.
So if it's like 2 miles away, nobody says it's 2 miles away. They say, oh, it's 15 minutes away. You know, oh, where's Burbank? 25 minutes away. Is it the same over there, or is that just an LA thing?
That's
When-
an LA thing.
Yeah, when we left, it was traffic in France. Like we come from the south, it was not that crazy, but I think it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah, but we still measure by kilometers.
Yeah.
Kilometers.
Yeah.
Not by miles. No, I'm kidding.
We don't
What?
use freedom units.
Yeah.
We use
what?
regular units.
Yeah, no, I think that's hilarious how we have that different system. So you guys are from south of France?
Yes.
Southeast, precisely. We grew up in Nice, which is about 20 miles away from the Italian border. So
Okay.
we have that kind of dual heritage where we have the best of France and the best of Italy.
Oh, you guys are spoiled.
Yes, we are.
You guys are very... Do you guys speak Italian?
Si.
Si.
Un po.
Un poco.
Yeah,
I think I understand. I mean, I'm fluent in Spanish.
It's very much the same.
It's there, yes and no, you know, because I was in Italy and I was like, what are you guys saying? Like, what? I don't get it.
I would say that the roots are very similar, and I don't speak Spanish, but ever since I arrived here in LA, I was like, yeah, I need to speak Spanish. And a lot of people have said, oh, since you already speak Italian,
It should be easy.
should it be easy? Yeah.
Yeah, and anybody that's multi-language. So you guys speak 3 languages.
I don't speak Italian. It's just a show off. Like I used to learn Spanish in high school, but like always the same. When you don't practice, you're losing everything.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
difficult. I have a 3.5-year-old right now, and he's speaking Spanish, Armenian, English, and a little bit of Russian.
Oh.
And people are like, don't do that. That's confusing. I'm like,
No,
you know, people that live in border countries, you know, like 2-3 languages, this is the time for them to do it.
That's perfect. At 3.5, it's when his brain is gonna soak everything in.
Yeah, and it does, and now it's interesting because, like, you know, I'll check on him in the middle of the night, and he like talks in his sleep, and he's talking in his sleep, you know, in Armenian and Spanish. I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
That's a thing when you start to learn, not when you learn a language, but when we arrive here, like you're thinking in, like I was always thinking in French, and sometimes you're dreaming in English. Say, okay, that's a new step. Like, okay, now I'm like English is starting to be my everyday language. And when you start dreaming in English, it's like, okay, that's good now.
yeah, I know. I was just having this conversation with I think, was it with you on Thursday or Friday? When was the Friendsgiving?
Wednesday.
What's Wednesday?
Wednesday. And I think I don't know if it was with you or somebody else, but I was talking about this exact same language thing. My son's teacher was asking me what's his primary language, and I was like, well, it's got to be Armenian, you know. And then she's like, why? And I was like, because he dreams like 90% of the time in Armenian. But then to your point, you know, if you're studying a topic, you end up dreaming now in that topic because that's all you're thinking about. But then that's still kind of the same thing because that's you're making that your priority.
Yeah, I would say so. It's when it's the most important, or maybe the last thing before going to sleep. Maybe before going to sleep, your son speaks in Armenian with his mom.
Yeah.
And that could be the reason why.
Yeah, maybe. It's. I mean, I guess the whole dream thing is a complete mystery because, you know, I was just watching on Netflix. It's a new show called Slumberland. Have you seen it? It just
Nope.
came out like 3 days ago. It's Jason Momoa. It's a kid. It's very childish. It's a kid's movie. You know, like they're promoting all over Hollywood on Sunset. It's like sign Slumberland. But the concept of, you know, how they interpret dreams, it was very interesting too. Like it's people that go to sleep, they're dreaming, but they know they're dreaming. And then since they know they're dreaming, kind of like the whole Inception thing, but since they know they're dreaming, they find a way of escaping their dream and using other people's dreams to jump to a certain destination.
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
The concept's beautiful, but they made Jason Momoa's acting was like very childish, and it was like, this concept is so cool and it's interesting. Like everybody loves the dream, aspect of life because it's such a mystery and we've never been able to solve it. That to make it so childish, it was like, know. But the little girl was a good actress. I don't know what her name is, but she was in another movie. Silent Night with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. That's another one that just came out 2 days ago. Yeah.
She's busy. She's super busy.
Yeah, super busy. But anyways, again, this dream thing's interesting. Yeah. That whatever you're working on, or whatever you're stressed about, or whatever your project, or whatever you learn. Sometimes you learn something, and when you go to sleep, you don't know how it works. But then when you wake up, you're like, I get it. I was sitting in class for 8 hours. I couldn't understand how to do this, and now it clicked.
It happens to me all the time. So going to dreams, I had the wildest dream when I was working in an office before coming to the US. I had those super wild dream where I was able to remember. So the next morning I was telling Laura, this and happened. Didn't have any sense. Now that we're working, I don't want to say that we're working a lot more, but we are working different way. We are entrepreneurs, so we are our own boss, and we don't necessarily count our hours, and we're working on a field that is really a passion. I dream less and less. However, sometimes around 3-4 in the morning, whenever I'm blocked on the bike, I'm like, that's it. That's the way I'm going to solve the problem.
That's how I'm going to fix it.
Yeah. So I get less of those wild dreams, but more productive dreams.
That's better, because every morning you used to wake up having those dreams like, I'm already exhausted. Like I can have this day. Like it was sweating and always happened to me, and I was like fighting someone, and then I was walking, and then it came back like no time sense. Like he was starting the dream like probably like today, and then at the middle of the dream it was like 100 years ago, and then he came back in the present, and then it was past.
Yeah.
It was like
that was so fun. That was so fun.
But
now it's more productive.
Now it's more productive.
About remembering what you learn like during your night. My mom always told me, like, before going to bed, write a last time your lesson you're gonna have for the next day exam or whatever. Like I wrote it and I learned it during the whole day. Like, come on, give me a break. And when it's the last thing you read before going to bed, your brain is like processing this information while you're dreaming. You don't drink.
Oh, we drink too.
Yeah. You don't dream about
Absolutely
this lesson. But when you wake up, everything seems super clear.
It sinks in because it's back to, there's no new information coming in. You have the same information, you have the same problem, and for whatever reason, it's just not clicking. And even like the school thing, there was times where it's like, okay, here's the problem. I see how I'm supposed to solve it, but it doesn't make sense. I know that's how I'm supposed to, but that doesn't make sense. And then you go to sleep, and then when you go to sleep, it just clicks.
Yeah, your brain relaxes and you find the path in the forest.
Right.
The forest was all bushy and blocked, and now just
and
relax.
Also staying focused on the same problem doesn't gonna have it solved.
Right.
Like just sometimes just like, and it's part of the thing being an entrepreneur. It's like, you always focus and no, I need to finish that. I won't take a break because I need to be more efficient. I need to produce things. And no, okay, you know what? Take a break, go run, go walk on the beach, go play golf or whatever. And then everything will be more clear. And that's the thing we are trying to do. It's like, it's super complicated when you are an entrepreneur and you always like super focus on what you're doing, and taking a break is like, no, I can't do that. Like I need to work. And sometimes like just having like reading a book for half an hour or even 10 minutes and like few pages, you're like, you feel more relaxed, and you understand, like, and like all the scientists say, yeah, you need to relax, and you need to
You have to.
trying to like to block your brain and say, no, I'm not going to focus on work. I need to think about anything. This problem is going to still be the same problem 10 minutes after, or like half an hour ago, half an hour after. So just relax and think about something else.
There was a study that I found very interesting. I heard about it. I didn't see the exact results, but it made sense. So I should probably look at it, because it's like the second time I'm bringing it up. But it was so fascinating. The study was, they had patients do a DMT. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's a psychedelic. DMT is a chemical that's produced also in the brain. And they say it's a psychedelic where you like travel, like it's very crazy. And they say that the DMT that's in the brain is what causes when people have like these life-death experiences and they visualize and they hallucinate and they see the light. The science behind it is like, it's this DMT chemical. But you can smoke this DMT, and for 10 minutes, I mean, you travel into, crazy things. And the wild thing is that everybody that does it usually sees the similar beings, similar things. And, that's the crazy thing about dreams, is that if you two have a dream, it's never the same dream. If you see something and she sees something, it's usually completely different. But anyways, on these studies, they said, let's understand what's going on in the brain. Okay, because people are like, I'm flying and I'm doing this and I see UFOs and aliens and, and I leave my body and I could see myself. And so the thought process is that your mind is busy. Like there is, I mean, it is fucking wild, right? Well, when they do this study, they're seeing that the brain activity is minimal. And they're like, well, wait a minute. Okay, something's wrong. Maybe they're not tripping, because the brain activity is like very low. And anyways, after the study, it's like everybody describes what they saw. And now the scientists are like, wait, you did see everything. You had the experience and your brain activity was low. And now the conclusion is that our minds are limited when we're awake. Our minds are working and saying, you can't do this. Don't go there right now. You have to finish it. We restrict ourselves. We put so much power into restricting and building these rules that we live by in our belief systems that we're not allowing our brain to explore.
Let loose and
right.
go in someplace.
Where when you let loose, like for example, I'm sure we've all experienced, I've experienced this, when you're doing a long drive, sometimes you're doing a long drive and you kind of like just check out. And all of a sudden you drove for 2 hours. Yeah. You're like, what? And that was like minimal brain activity. And it's back to what we're talking about. Sometimes you have this problem right in front of you, but we complicate it so much. We think about it so much that when we go to sleep, it's like we put our defense system down. Our brain activity went down. We dumped ourselves down, and now it's like, oh.
Yeah, we allow ourselves to think about dumb solution. Whereas when you're awake, you're like, no, it cannot be that simple.
Impossible.
Yeah.
We complicate it.
We super complicated everything, and basically, when you think about it, life is simple. The solutions are always the simple things.
Yeah, of course. No, it is very simple. There's a class they offer in Los Angeles, and they talk about how the story that you tell yourself is always much worse than what it actually is.
Yeah, when you when in the shower and you do all those crazy scenarios, when you have like, you're not going to do a fight with someone, but you have an argument and you imagine the worst case scenario. And you are in your shower.
And 20 worst case scenarios.
Yeah,
not one.
Say, I'm going to say that and that and that. And then the situation really happened. You say like, okay, that was like just a basic conversation. No need to fight. No need to scream and cry. But like you still need to imagine the worst case scenario and all the worst case scenario in your head.
Yeah. No, it's a movie. I'm going to ask, because I got to ask the man. Have you ever used the public restroom and you're standing up, to urinate, and you look at the reflective chrome and you're like, if somebody comes after me, like,
always,
like,
always.
Like, why are we picturing fighting?
This or the ATM?
Or the ATM, yeah, you got to look at the mirror while you're taking out money. Like, if somebody comes to him, poke his eyes out. Like, what?
Go for the nets first, and then the eyes.
Yeah, that's right. The knee. Oh, yeah, there we go. Like,
I don't know. Why are we so primal?
I mean,
Is it society that
it's
wants
the
us?
movies, like all the
no,
movies
it's not. It's not the
and
movies. No,
everything.
it's in us. And the reason it's in us is understand. 500 years ago, there was two friends standing around and literally saying, "Hey, 20 miles away from here, there's a group of guys. Grab your sword. Let's go over there." And we would walk 20 miles and
And
steal their stuff. And
200 years ago, it would
200
be,
years.
It would be like very basic rifles and
rifle, yeah. I mean, not even 100 years ago. It's in
I was
our
gonna
DNA.
say, 6 months ago, the Russian did it to the Ukrainian.
They're doing it right now. Yeah, like the conquering to live is huge. I'm sorry, I brought this. I just didn't want to spill it because this one leaks. I don't know what's going on.
Great coffee, by the way. That's
Good. It was a
Italian
good mix,
Cuban
huh?
mix. Perfect.
It was, yeah. I'm enjoying it. We have tons of it too.
Nice.
Almost. No, but it's embedded in our DNA. There's again. I hate to be that guy that talks about his kid all the time, but my son, he's wild. He's masculine. They're like, "Hey, he's acting out." I'm like, "Hey, it's okay. He's a boy. That's what boys do. What do you want him to do? You know, hold his pinky up and pardon me." And he does that now. And he'll go, "Papa, Papa, Papa," and I go, "Hey," he'll be like, "Sorry, father." Oh. So excuse me, father.
Excuse me, father.
May I tell you something? I'm like, "Yes, son." And then he's like, "I want to go party," like whatever.
And it goes through phases.
It goes through phases, of course.
Phases where you are a brute and you want to fight everything, and then you go down and you get calmer, and then you come back to the brute phase.
Yeah, his phase is like full throttle right now. He was looking at a picture book out of emotions. It's like, "Oh, this person's angry and this person's sad," and he goes, "Papa, you know why this person's sad?" I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because he lost. He didn't win." Ooh. And I was like, "Okay."
That's super impressive. And like,
Because he lost.
that's amazing because you can enter a great discussion with your kid about.
Oh, yeah.
How old is he? Like 3?
He'll be 4 in January. So
Like-
3 and a
I didn't remember like being a kid talking about so much about emotion and what you feel and okay, this is angry and you are angry and it's okay to be angry, but sometimes when you are in a supermarket and you see those, especially in LA, those mom and the kid's like super mad, he's crying and screaming, and the mom is like super calm and you can feel the anger. It's okay, baby. Yes, okay.
When I was 4 years old, I was probably eating dirt in the forest behind my house.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
And if you were in the supermarket, like being that crazy, your mom probably like give you a slap in your ass and say, "Okay, you know what? Like, shut up. You're gonna go, and then you're gonna calm down, and you're gonna stay by yourself in your room and think about what you did." Okay?
What you did, yeah. And I'm going to starve you for 2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
She would lock me in the bathroom with no lights.
Come on, she probably did that one or twice.
Oh, she did. My brother was the smart one because he understood that the switch light, the light switch was inside the bathroom. So he would just turn the lights on, have a book and read. And I was just screaming like a...
Yeah, because
Before
your
you-
You're
brother likes
terrified,
to
yeah.
be just by himself. You need to be surrounded by people. And why, mom, did you do that to me?
No, it's different. I remember going to school. There was a school I went to. When I got in trouble, they would make me stand in the corner with 2 dictionaries.
On your head?
Oh no, my hand. I would have to hold the dictionaries, like two dictionaries.
Oh, that's a good one.
And for 5 minutes, do you know how hard and heavy it gets? Heavier and like you're just like, God, like that was torturous.
That's why you have long arms.
That's right. That's right. No, the way smarter. Do you guys have kids?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We have
Yeah,
we have
a
our
dog.
business and we have the dog.
Yeah, and
Those are
two
that's a lot. That's a lot. I give my credit to one. I spend a lot of time with my child. That's number one. Number two, the app, the iPad and the phone thing. You're not gonna get away with not giving it to them. It's so fucking convenient. But my rule is, I see the other kids. They're just watching YouTube videos. Like some are smart, some are stupid. So, they're just watching YouTube videos, and whatever YouTube provides them, that's the information they get. And sometimes stupid videos pop up. I buy apps. I buy these learning kids apps for my son in Spanish and English. He goes to an Armenian school, so
Yeah, Armenian is already.
and he's already there. So I buy in the Spanish and English apps, and I spend $20-$30 on apps a month, you know, for these classes. They're so cool. I mean, you know, Papa, I want a pizza. What do you want in your pizza? Well, we're gonna have to make flour to make the dough, and I want marinara red sauce, Papa. You know, the tomato one. Let's do mozzarella. Like, he knows the ingredients because this app, you make it, you make cake and flour, and you know, it's just wild.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Really.
it-
But I think, as you said, we don't have kids, so we're like, yeah, when we're gonna have kids, we're not gonna give them screens.
Now we have
Bullshit.
principle, and then we're gonna have kids.
Yeah, we have principles for now. Then we'll have kids, and we're gonna give them the screens because it's convenient. Sometimes you need them, but
And we are also like always on screen, on our computer, working on our phone, and there is no boundaries. You work at home. The kids see you all the time
course.
working on your phone, on your computer. So you cannot say like, yeah, I'm allowed to do that, but you are not. And they are attracted by light and everything. So you're doing the
It's
smart
addicting,
way.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, I cannot avoid that problem. So let's make it a
Make
solution.
it a better
Yeah.
experience.
yeah.
Last comment I'll make. I am on my phone with, you know, in front of my son. You know what he does? He jumps on me, takes my phone away. He goes, Papa, I'm a phone.
Oh,
that's
that's so cute.
What? He's like, I'm a phone. And I'm a boop, 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 boop,
That's
boop.
so cute.
I'm a phone. Who does that? Let me turn on the AC real quick. Okay, now talking about your child and your business, what is Baak? What is your business? How do you guys introduce yourself? And
Wanna go first?
Oh, go.
All right. So
Start and I will correct you.
Yep. So I'm Remy. What else? I'm French. Laura is my wife, my business partner, my everything. Let's
my
get the-
everything,
Okay, that's a good
my
resolution.
son, my
Okay.
light.
Yeah, let's get the cheesy.
We
out
got
of
it.
the way.
Mom. We got it.
We arrived here in Los Angeles about January is going to be 4 years. 4 years ago.
Wow, it's right, COVID.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just-
so
no,
you
way
guys brought
before.
COVID then? No, I'm kidding.
No, a year before. End of January 2019. So we got a solid year before COVID. So that was
Nice.
cool. So we were able-
Barely made it, yeah.
yeah, we were able to see a little bit of LA before COVID, LA during COVID, and LA now, which is great.
Yeah, I call it BC and AC.
Yeah.
Before COVID, after COVID.
Oh, that's yep, good one.
Yeah.
We arrived here for another business, but Remy, the founder of Baak, which is sometimes not convenient because he's Remy, I'm Remy, so I'm a Remy, but not the Remy.
Right.
Wow. Remy was one of the first person I called. I think the week we arrived in LA, I called him and said, dude, we need to bring Baak here in the United States and especially LA because there is so much we can do
Yeah,
for
because
Baak.
Baak is a French company, was created almost 10 years ago now by Remy. So motorcycle business. And this Remy was one of the first customer. Yes, please. One of the first customer like in 2013.
Yeah, beginning of 2013. I'll tell the story after about how I became a customer of Baak, but yeah, you can go on.
So yeah, and when we arrived, we said like, okay, that we have this business. There is two solutions. Either it's gonna work, but we were not. Our dream was to be in LA, and we say, okay, like we have this business. It's a good start, but we need to do more. We need to create different thing, and we really changed our mind when we arrived. Like we were employee back in France. We were like definitely didn't want to be entrepreneur in France. I don't know why, but since we were in LA, I think it's the vibe in LA. Like,
Well, let's slow it down real quick because there's a lot going on.
yeah,
First, okay, so Baak's been around for 10 years.
Yep.
What is the name Baak? Is it a name? Is it a brand? Is it a word?
So basically the inspiration of Remy when he was trying to find motorcycle parts for his Triumph Bonneville was he's always looking in the 60s and 70s kind of style.
Yeah.
So he's looking back.
Okay.
And when he was creating his company, he wanted something that was easy to pronounce by everybody in the world, no matter if he was selling here in the United States, in Europe, in Asia. And he wants something very short. So you have Baak. And the twist the twist is that the B is looking back and the K is looking towards the future. So there is a lot of
and the A's the B's back, the K
the back.
Got
So
it.
that's a question we get a lot.
So it's a made up word almost.
It's almost a made up word. And for us in French, back, B-A-A-K, and back, B-A-C-K, it's pronounced the same. So we get a lot of that question here in the US. Oh, is
Right.
it back or back?
Right.
But
Yeah, because Americans want to be like, oh, it's a French company. Is it Baak or Baak or Baak? Yeah.
back.
Okay, now let me understand this. So you guys moved to LA in 2019 with no Baak yet.
No back yet.
You came here and you're like, let's. What was your reason to come to LA? It was
So we used to.
you had some family here, you had some friends here, or you were just visiting.
The funny thing is, the first time we came to Los Angeles was 2016. It was the first leg of our honeymoon. And we were lucky enough to go in 6 weeks honeymoon all around the world. And when we came back in France, we said that if there is one city we will never leave ever, it's Los Angeles.
Of course, no, but yeah.
We hated it.
Yeah, it's like as a tourist, it's like super complicated to understand the city. You spend a lot of time. You think like, okay, I'm gonna have breakfast in Santa Monica and then lunch in Hollywood, and then we're gonna go hiking somewhere. Like, no.
In one day.
Yeah.
In one day. Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time in our car. But
And then not only that, I'm traumatized for people that come visit LA because you see LA like Hollywood and Highland. Then you go there and you're like Hollywood and Highland. This is
that's fucked up.
this is bad. There's like one corner that looks nice. That's all you see. But then 10 miles of
Like dirty stuff and yeah. So but when we got back from our honeymoon, we were like, yeah, we used to live in Paris at that time and we were miserable because I love visiting Paris. Visiting Paris is like New York. You go 3 to 5 days. It's amazing.
I agree.
Living there is another story. So we were kind of miserable in Paris. So we were trying to find a way to move away from Paris. So we tried to, our first stop, we really wanted to go to Switzerland because Switzerland, it's nice. It's 45 minutes flight from where we are born. You can go mountain biking during the summer. You can go skiing during the winter. It's great. You can
Saunas, jacuzzis, good people,
Yeah.
environment, economies, people flourishing. Yeah.
exactly.
And you were working for.
I was
a
I was
company
working
with the-
for an American and Swiss company, so there could have been an opening.
Watches.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It was watches and diamonds.
Yeah, watches and diamonds, of course.
So that didn't pan out, but out of the blue, 2017, I'm in the subway coming back from work, and I start to text with a friend down in Nice, where we are from, and he's like, "Yeah, well, what's up with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I think we want to move and leave Paris because we don't like it here. We want to do." He said, "Where do you want to go?" You know what? Maybe Cape Town, South Africa sounds like something I could do. It's convenient. It's like almost same time zone as Europe, and yeah, why not? And it's like, do you want to go to Los Angeles and develop my business? And I think,
Develop the business.
yeah, he had a business in France, and he said, do you want to go in Los Angeles and try to develop that business there? And like, I think 35 seconds later, I said, okay. That night, Laura came back from work and said, "Hey, what's up?" I said, "Hey, we're moving to Los Angeles." She said, "Don't you remember our last experience in Los Angeles?" We're like, it's okay. So we booked,
Cannot be worse than Paris at that moment. So we said, okay, let's give it a try.
and then we booked a flight ticket. We came here 2 weeks. We took an Airbnb on
Just nearby Runyon Park.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we were trying to say, okay, we didn't like LA because we didn't know the city. Now let's try to spend 2 weeks as people who lives in LA. So let's just go hiking, like in Runyon
Runyon
Canyon.
Canyon,
Let's have a coffee. Let's do walk around.
Let's go to La
And
Brea, West Hollywood,
exactly,
Sunset,
yeah, exactly.
Melrose.
That's
And I say,
exactly
you
what
know
we
what?
did.
And it was end of October.
Yeah.
Weather was perfect. People were like, we could feel the vibes. And there is a specific vibe in LA. Like there is something is happening, like really. And you say, okay, you know what? Let's go. Let's say yes. And let's start the visa process and everything. And it took us like
Almost a year.
Almost a year. And
Because it's not that easy to come here.
I was gonna mention that. I was talking to the people, the owners at Bike Shed.
yeah, we have the same lawyer.
Yeah, and they were saying, I heard it's horror stories. Like people automatically assume, oh, you're European, you get it for free. But
No,
I heard there's a lot of ass kissing. It was very detailed, but there's a lot of ass kicking.
well,
and
basically it cost us
and
100 grand because we came on a E2 visa called investor visa. So basically you have to put at least 100 grand on a bank account, create a company, start to spend the money for your company, and then you can ask for the visa. So it's kind of a gamble because,
there's no guarantee.
and we got our first application.
But everything's a gamble. The flight
yeah.
over here was a
Yeah.
gamble.
Yeah. But yeah, we got our first application denied, and then we persevered and we reapplied, got it. And yeah, December 18, 2018, we got our visa. And then
Congratulations.
yeah,
Big deal.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That was a big deal because we didn't know at the time how complicated it was. And that's probably why we did it.
Yeah, you know, when like sometime when you think about like what you did the last months, week, year, or whatever, you say like if someone asks me like, oh, do you want to redo again? Say like, no. If you know all the complication, all the problem, all the issue, all the scream, or everything, like
Losing
no,
sleep,
no,
the
you
unknown.
like sometimes like being naive, it's the best thing that can happen to you.
Yeah.
Because if you know, you don't go. You're just like, okay, like close your eyes and we're going to make it work.
Yeah.
So that's basically our story. Is
Yeah.
we take a deep breath and just go.
Yeah, and like also like
That's wild.
it's one complicated thing, but like the best thing that can happen to us is we are a team. Like we are together all the time. But like honestly, I really admire like all those people who came by themselves.
Oh, it's
Like they move and they say, okay, like let's give it a try, but I'm alone. Like
Wow.
oh, it's
that's-
wild.
yeah.
I'll tell you. I have like 3 things because of the whole you guys being French. One is random LA thing. I had a friend of mine come from South America, and I was taking him on Hollywood Boulevard, and he was like, "Wow, he was excited." And then he saw a place that was called LA Tours, but he's like, "Look, La Tours." And I'm like, what? He's like, that's fancy. That must be a luxury one. I go, what?
Nope.
And no, it's LA Tours. So that's my random story there. My random Paris story is I was in Paris, rented a motorcycle, GS, told my wife, jump on. She said, where are we going? And I
That's
said,
ballsy.
very ballsy. And she's like, where are we going? I go, doesn't matter. We're going. And then somehow we were on the freeway. And then
Oh, the peripheric, the one that goes around Paris?
the one that's going towards like the downtown.
Yeah, the peripheric.
Okay, so I have no idea. I was wherever the wind goes, right? And I'm all, let's go to that beautiful city. And then it just dips down and goes under the city. And I'm like, whoa, a tunnel. Yep. I've been in a tunnel like a minute long, maybe, right?
It's not the same. Nope.
The tunnel got longer and longer. The air, my wife's holding tighter. I can't communicate. I'm like, this tunnel's got to end. How long is that tunnel?
Some of those tunnels can be very long. Like, we're talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes long.
Right. No, that's what I've said. I've said it was at least 8-10 minutes. And it felt much longer. And then finally, when I got out of the tunnel, within 60 seconds, I was in another tunnel. And I'm like, where am I? Like, I have no idea. And I have no GPS on. Because I was like,
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I assume I was on the east side of Paris because the east sides of every city is always like the craziest part. But man, I could be wrong. I get off on an exit and there was like Muslim, like homeless, like sleeping like everywhere. And they were just like, it looked like, I don't know if they were Muslim. They could have been Chinese. I don't know. But, you know, it was a big crowd of homeless people. And they start walking towards us on the motorcycle. And my wife is like, ah! I'm like, go, yeah. So now I'm going. Now I'm in this town. And I'm like, where the fuck am I? What did I do? Not on France. Don't let it end here. Well, I saw the Eiffel Tower at least. You know, whatever. Anyway, so we get to a gas station, put the GPS, go back. We have to go back through the tunnels. And anyways, that was my experience. Other than that, Paris is awesome. We were so late, we didn't get to see the Louvre. Why am I telling you my random thoughts? So we had Le Tours, we had the French one, and then I lost my train of thought on...
There was a third one.
There was a third one, because it had something to do with your story that you were telling me. Anyways, we'll go back to your story. I'll see if I remember. So now you're visiting, you're going to start this business, you go through this complicated thing. What happened with that business, and how did Baak get into the phase?
So
See, I brought it back. You see that?
There is a lot of like, things we can do.
it shows
Tried
how,
to confuse you.
it shows how good a host you are.
Oh, thank you. I tried. Hold on. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
So, as Laura was saying, when we arrived beginning of 2019 with that business, we were thinking there is two possibilities on how our future is. I thought that this business is going to thrive. We're going to be employing people to allow us to dedicate some time to develop new projects. Either that project, that business that we are starting to develop here is going to crash, burn to the ground, and we'll still have to develop new business because we really like it here in LA. So either way, we need to start about new business to develop. So that's when I called Remy from Baak and said, dude, we need to do something. And we started to talk.
It was not like, it was more like, okay, by the way, I know because we didn't really talk about what is Baak. So our Baak main business, it's aftermarket parts. So you can find the parts online, order it, we deliver everywhere in the world, and you install those parts by yourself on your bike. It can be turn signal, it can be side cover, it can be seat, it can be exhaust, whatever. For modern classic Triumph,
Royal Enfield, BMW 90, and Moto Guzzi V7, V9.
And so at that moment, we said to Remy, like, we knew the US market was the biggest one after the French one.
California, especially, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like
surprisingly, no, the East Coast, New York, Philadelphia, DC,
honestly, everywhere in the US.
Everywhere, but California is the number one motorcycle market, period.
Yeah, because we can ride all year long. And
only 12 months out of the year.
Yeah, only.
No, I don't ride between 15th of August and 15th of December. It's too hot here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's 100 degrees everywhere. Last year I was trying to...
You spoiled brat.
Yeah.
He's only been here 4 years.
Yeah. When I say that to my French friends, they're like, you motherfucker.
Gross. Disgusting. Yeah. That's terrible.
So we were like saying to Remy, like, if you need someone, like now we are in the US, if you need, I don't know, someone to like handle, like create a warehouse or like anything, we are here. It was not like, let's do business together. It was more like, okay, if you need help to do or to go somewhere to, I don't know, like introduce you to trying to meet someone for you or whatever, we can do that for you.
Yeah.
And he say like, okay, like, by the way, maybe do you have like 1 or 2 million? We can create something together. I say yes, but no. We spend our money for our main business right now. So we say, okay, thank you, but no thank you. Okay, great. Like it was like more like a buddy, you know, motorcycle buddy. You see him all the time during the events and everything. We had the same friends, but we didn't have like this like strong friendship. And few months after, like new text message exchange, and we say, oh, like, how is everything in the US? Do you still like it? So yeah, I think we're gonna stay for a while. Never know what's gonna happen the day after, but like we're gonna stay for a while. So, okay, like I was thinking maybe we should create like a small cafe, kind of the Deus vibe in Venice, you know, like a small coffee shop with a small workshop and everything. So yeah, that seems a dream, but there is already Deus. The bike shed already announced they were coming in the US, especially in LA. They're like, that's a lot of money because you need to have the location, and so
and
like
multiple permits.
Yeah, exactly.
Permits,
And also, like, your
and
business is the motorcycle industry. You're not a bartender, barista, or whatever. That's like hospitality. It's another business. And so we say, okay, thank you, but no thank you. And we are living our life. And I think it was October 2019, so still already before COVID, call us and say, okay, you know what? Like, I have more and more demand for full project build from US customer. However, you cannot build a brand new bike in France and ship it to the US. You could, but officially you cannot ride it.
Right.
You cannot register it. It's the same bike.
Not on public roads.
Yeah, exactly.
the DOT requires any vehicles to be imported in the United States to be at least 25 years old,
Right.
which is a dumb rule.
And California is even stricter in the sense of if you buy a bike in a different state and you bring it here and it has less than 7,500 miles, you can't even register it.
Yeah.
And if you try to register it before, they'll flag it.
Not
So you literally have to wait. Not true?
Not true.
Oh,
Yep.
challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Please tell me.
So you know that blue Royal Enfield, the Gallinella with the nice fairing over the rear wheel that is at the bike shed that we have?
Yes.
So
On
that
display, yes.
Yep. So that one, it was given to us by Royal Enfield. So it came with a Wisconsin license plate. We got it registered, and right now it sits with 4,900 miles.
What year is it?
2021.
From Wisconsin.
Really?
But we have a trick.
Interesting.
We go to Palm Springs and we need to go to the DMV. People are nicer.
Don't say that. Everybody's going to go there. Now there's going to be a line of motorcyclists there. Like, what are these bikes? No. It's just with. I don't know if it was with only Harley Davidsons, but I used to work for Harley Davidson 10, 12, 13 years ago. And that was a big thing. People would try to buy their Harleys out of state because of the exhaust and the catalytic converters, et cetera. And they would try to bring it in. And if you tried to register it under 7,500 miles, they would flag it. And as a dealer, we couldn't even touch it. We're like,
The only thing that the gentleman at the DMVs looked for was a sticker on the frame that says that motorcycle is compliant, is EPA compliant in all 50 states with emission standards. That's it.
it almost sounds like it was a California bike that they took to Wisconsin and you guys just brought it back. But
No, that was proper Wisconsin, and they didn't ask us anything. The fact that the bike was custom was not even a problem.
right.
Yeah, so
That's
it was simple.
That's custom. Interesting.
So yeah,
I'm gonna have to Google that.
every time we need to go to the DMV because being on a visa, we need to renew our license, driving license every year. So basically, getting an appointment here in LA is always a nightmare. You stand in line for hours. So what we do is we book an appointment in Palm Springs in the middle of the week. You go
Smart.
at the time of your appointment. 20 minutes later, everything is done.
Yeah, makes sense. And you get some good food in Palm Springs. Go visit Frank Sinatra's areas.
Exactly.
And,
Steve McQueen house.
Steve McQueen, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the way to do it.
So yeah, so basically that's why we decided to open a workshop in LA. It's because demand was more and more important for full custom build. And so Remy said, okay, like we need to open a workshop. I'm gonna help you to do that, and you're gonna be in charge. I say, okay, let's do that. So February 2020, I go to France to officially meet Remy and but I only spend a day with him, like trying to, to say, okay, there is a business, but we also need to see if like we connect as a person to do business together.
Yeah.
So I spend the whole day with him, and we are the same dream. We have the same way to think and to see the company, and
Same vision.
yeah, exactly. And came back to the US, and then our dear friend COVID happened. So at that moment, our previous business was related to the event business. So this business was shut down since day one of COVID. So if it was not for Baak, we had to go back to France because your business is shut down, no money is coming in.
A lot of money is coming out.
Yeah,
Obviously, you still need to pay rent and
everything.
leave. So
it was a little bit longer than expected because all the not the bank, but there is a lot of like you can have helps like financial help from kind of the government in France if you are a French business and you want to export your talent, your knowledge, and
the craftsmanship
outside France. The French government gives you help, and like
as long as you have a headquarters in France.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as it's a French company opening a branch outside of France, they're super willing to help you because it promotes.
Of course.
Yeah.
French.
Who doesn't want a sticker that says "Made in France"?
Exactly. And so it was like a little bit longer than expected because of COVID, obviously. But like June 2020, we incorporated Baak USA here in California. September 1st, got the key of the shop in Burbank. We did together 2-3 months of remodeling, basic stuff, but everything takes time, obviously.
Everything.
November 1st, 2020, our mechanic Jeremy arrived in the team and we deliver our first bike.
December 14th of 2020.
And when we announced...
Big moment.
We announced summer 2020, we do like a basic promotion, not promotion.
A newsletter
to our
US.
customer in the US saying like, okay, this is a secret, but Baak is coming to LA. Because of that really easy email, we got 3 customers, like for full build. And I said like, okay, I want to be one of the first. Okay, give me your money and I will build you a bike.
Of course.
And we are officially open since February 2021.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what you guys, I'm very impressed with you guys.
Thank you.
Because number one, I've been in the motorcycle industry for 20-something years. And you know, I've always been riding. I used to work at the dealerships. I know all kinds of people doing random things, but it's impressive that such a new company comes in and the amount of events and the amount of time you invest, not just only the money aspect, but what you guys did with DGR. Like, you know, that was almost a year ago, right? Or 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like that.
Oh, the event
DGR that you guys started doing the giveaway stuff, and you know, like I won a backpack.
We were
there.
not here, but
Oh, you guys were not there. That's right.
No, because
You just give your keys to somebody, and you guys had this. You guys did smash burgers. I'll tell you what happened. You guys had a great turnout. You guys had You guys had a great turnout. You guys had great food.
Burger.
They were smashing.
Yeah, we watched it on the cameras.
Yeah,
because actually we were in France preparing the bike shed show in London.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was during that time.
Yeah,
because Anthony, one of the hosts of the DGR,
Right.
We build him a bike. That gray and red bobber
Yeah.
is Anthony's bobber, and I think that event was in May, end of May, because we were in France and England. So I think April is like, hey, we are trying to do an event mid-year. The DGR being in November.
No, in May.
In May.
Yeah, now it's in May. It used to be in September, but now it's in May.
Okay, so he's like, yeah.
I was there. I don't remember the dates. You know.
So yeah, he's like, we're trying to do an event. Could we do it at Baak? We're like, yeah, for sure. That's one of the reasons we took such a big space, because we have about 7,000 square feet.
It's humongous.
It's big. It's a little bit bigger than what we need, but we always wanted to become a place where people would feel comfortable to host the event.
Yeah,
So
we are not really open to the public. Like, we are not really a retail store. basically because you need to have like 20 parking spots if you want to be open like on regular hour.
Yeah, retail.
But also because it's just like the two of us and Jeremy, so we cannot really have people coming all the time. Jeremy is working on the bike and needs to be focused on the bikes. Remy is more like in between the workshop and the office. I'm 100% behind my computer all the time. But like we want like bike is yours. Like basically it's our company, it's your company. It's like we need to have everyone feeling welcome at the shop. And yeah, you need to appropriate yourself.
You need to feel that the space can be yours.
Yeah,
and
the space and the brand.
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is such a little time, listening to your story of when you started, the hoops you had to jump through, the visas you had to get. Now you're open, and now I'm seeing last week you guys had the Friendsgiving. Amazing. And the thing is, there's companies
next week there is a ride and barbecue on December 3rd. We're gonna do a ride and a barbecue. Still need to buy a barbecue.
At the same time?
Yep.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
He's doing the ride, I'm doing the barbecue.
I'm going to have a trailer attached to my bike that's going to be a barbecue. So I'm going to stop every so often to like flip the burgers and all that.
Yeah, and also...
it's awesome. And I just want to make this point. 10, 15 years ago, you got to understand, the biker community wasn't this functional and beautiful. It was very, very divided. You had the Harley guys doing only Harley events. You had the
sports bike guys,
BMW guys. You had the sports bike. It was just this division. Nobody really shared what's going on. And now, as I'm doing more interviews, like a Beachside Moto, it's amazing what they put together.
Amazing.
Bike Shed, it's amazing what you guys are doing. There's so many cool activities, and it's so welcoming that it's like you got to understand. I 15 years ago, I felt like I had no place, because I'm working at a Harley shop, and I'm the general manager. I'm selling these bikes, but I'm not tatted up and like I'm clean cut selling Harleys because I like Harleys, and that's where I was at. And it was very difficult to find things in common. And now it's like everywhere I go, it's like that's cool and that's awesome, and look at this and look at that.
That's what's amazing about the bike culture here in LA. Back in France, it's a little bit like this. Harley guys only ride Harleys. Sports bike guys only ride sports bike. And here in LA, when we ride, sometimes we find ourselves mixed with at the red light with Harley guys, and they look at the bike and they like thumbs up and say nice work and all that. I look at their bike, I love it. It's not about the brand; it's more about riding motorcycle and getting excited to ride motorcycle, and that's what's amazing. And some of the Harley guys that you see on a Sunday with their big road glide, maybe next week you're gonna see them on a Triumph Bonneville, and the week after on a Yamaha R1. Like everybody has multiple bikes, and there is less boundaries than I feel. At least when we left France, it was very segregated.
I have to say this because you said boundaries, but in LA it's ride boundless.
Oh, nice plug.
You can do the ping, ping, ping.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Nice plug. And
but also, go.
Also, when we opened Baak in 2021, we were the new kid on the block, so we decided to do a lot of rides. So we went to vintage motorcycle ride.
We didn't organize.
We decided to go as Baak, but as riders to a lot of events to introduce ourselves to all those persons. So we went to Venice Vintage, we went to Los Angeles Moto, we reached out to some actors in the community. We reached out to British Custom.
Yeah, just to say, just to be polite. And we don't, obviously we have competitors, because there is other company who does the same thing as us, but we are all part of the same community. And if the community got bigger, if the motorcycle market goes bigger, everyone's going to take advantage of that. And you just arrive, we are French, we don't want to say, oh, we are better than anyone. No, you're just
well, you can say you're the best French company in California.
Oh, good one.
Yes, I think,
Yes, we are.
But we went to see, Remy was following Kevin from Motoshop Shop since forever. And he was like, okay, let's meet the guy and talk to him. And he was so welcoming, so helping. He gave us so many tricks, and like every time we have like an issue or you have a question, you can now with a friend. But yeah, we went to British Custom to say, hey, we are here, we're gonna do that, and let's just
You
be.
guys can help each other.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes people. Is that the dog?
He's snoring.
She's dreaming.
She's snoring.
She's snoring.
Yeah, there is a lot of time where people contact me and say, I want this part from you, I want this part from you, and I'm looking for that type of part. And I'm like, British Custom. Say, when I don't have what you're looking for, I much rather give you an advice than even not saying anything, whereas I could have told you something, you know? We're trying to do our best in terms of customer service, and if it means that I refer you to British Custom, I refer you to Kevin, I refer you to anybody else, it's good for me. It's good for everybody.
Yeah,
So
It goes in a circle.
Yeah, and trying to be honest and not like, obviously we have a business to run, so it's always about business, and at the end it's like you need to take care of money and everything, obviously, but it's also about the people. And first it's about the people, and that's an amazing thing with the motorcycle community. It's like, I think, like, of course right now we are working with Baak and our lives depend on Baak, but we are here because of this friend was asking us if he wanted to develop his business in the US. We met this guy because of motorcycle. And back in France, we had a group of friends called the Dandy Rider. And like we were 20 years old at that time, so we were the younger of the group. And one of the best one was like an insurance guy. The other one was a lawyer. And then if it's not because of motorcycle, like your friend does the same thing. You have friends from college, you have friends from work, and that's it. So you're like kind of
intertwine.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, exactly.
The good thing about
you mix.
motorcycle,
Yeah,
motorcycle is you meet people from
all
so many
walks of life. Well, just to make your point, that's why I have a podcast. That's why it's called Right Boundless. I don't sit here and speak, an hour, 2 hours about motorcycles. We talk about France and traveling and what other countries did you go to in your honeymoon? And I talk to doctors, detectives, police officers, actors, comedians, because politicians. Yeah, we had a politician on. She was running for Claudia, running for District Senate of Los Angeles, District 26. I had a Roland Sands in here. I had it's everybody. Yeah. I talked to Dutch, and it's not just bike shed. It's what do you see are the biggest differences between California and London? Is there a difference in the community? Is there it's everything. So it's I know surgeons that make 40, 50. Actually, I know one that makes $80,000 a month. Top surgeon rides his motorcycle.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's the beautiful things about the motorcycle community, and I love that. It's just so cool. Cool.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of a family. When you have your people, it's like about motorcycle first. You share the same passion, but like you are a family. Even if there is this weird thing, like we are not friends, but we ride a motorcycle. So we are part of family. Like we are family. And it's what happened with Dutch and Vicky, for example, when we, let's say Bike Shed and Baak was like friends, like as the two brands, but we didn't really know them. And Dutch posted on his own Instagram, and I think even on the Bike Shed Instagram, Baak is opening in LA. Like, whoa, thank you. That's huge, because they are huge.
They have
huge.
They're so huge. They throw an event in London that brings in 25 to 30,000 people. That's huge. Yeah. So it's amazing that
exactly.
Yeah. And they are a reference in the community. What they built over the last 10 years or something is incredible.
Yeah. So because of that, we said, like, okay, so are you in LA right now? We know about Bike Shed opening. I said, no, we are not here, but Stuart is there, their COO. So okay, let's meet. And then we had dinner, and Remy was sitting in front of Stuart, across Dutch, and the two guys, they just fell in love. Like, you have the same. They are the same people. Like, they have the same interests. They have the same way to think and everything. And now they are good friends. If it's not because of motorcycle, like, it's nothing. You don't meet these kind of people when it's not the motorcycle first, or any kind of other passion. It can be like, I don't know, like,
there's nothing like it. Yeah. And there's a lot of things, and it's interesting because motorcycle is in many ways such an individual passion, because you ride by yourself, you have your helmet by yourself, you're controlling by yourself. Like there's no teamwork.
No.
Even if you have a passenger, it's very individual. But that bonding experience of when you're off the motorcycle, it's. I mean, I've been posting videos like every day because it's just so much fun. I don't get tired of it.
Yeah, and I'm also golfing, and every time I'm going golfing, at the end of the round, the guys I'm being paired with say, "Oh, take my number. We're gonna play again." I never meet those guys again.
You know they're watching you now, right?
Yeah. I see you. But yeah, they say, "Oh," so I text them, "Hey, I'm gonna play. Do you want to come?" No answer. Whenever I'm doing a ride, I meet new people. I'm gonna meet them the next week or the week after, because in the motorcycle community, people, they're really committed to their passion. I feel like it's so unique. You don't find that in golfing, in pottery, or I don't know. It's
very valid. Yeah,
there is really a way to your word in the motorcycle community. When you say let's ride again, you do it. So
no, it's a big deal. I can't think of another thing that's like that. You know, like it doesn't matter unless if you're an asshole. But there's assholes in everything. But unless if you're an asshole, every time you cross a motorcycle, like there's times I'm driving a car and I see a bike and I'm like,
Exactly.
I'm trying. I try it.
You know, like I was like, maybe if I make stickers that identify me as a motorcyclist, maybe I can get that thumbs up. But it's funny, and again, I've been writing for 20 plus years, and I still don't get. I'm not cool enough to not do this. This is something that you do. It's hey, or even a whatever. You gotta
even a Vespa.
Yeah.
Even a Vespa here.
I do that. I do it to a Vespa. Sometimes I'm just I kind of don't see the Vespa, and I'm just like, I think I saw something, but I have where I'm like, you know what, let me see what's up. But yeah, it's the only community. My question to you guys that I feel that we skipped is, let's start off with Laura. What is your origin story of your first motorcycle ride?
Oh, so basically, my father used to ride like motorcycle when he was young. He had crashed in car, like whatever, like the proper like boy doing boy stuff.
Back in the 80s, so you didn't have the same cars, you didn't have the same things.
ABS,
exactly.
Anti-lock brake system.
My uncle also used to ride motorcycle, but like when I was born, my mom said to my dad, okay, you know what? Now you are responsible of someone else than you, so you're gonna stop doing your stupid shit and stop motorcycle. But I was always like attracted by that, and my uncle was still riding motorcycle, so sometimes he was like coming to pick me up at school, and it's super cool. You still have this thing like, okay, like
how old are you at the time?
I'm 30. At that time I was in middle school, so like, well, like 14
12,
years
13,
old,
14,
like just something. So it's still like super cool.
And the uncle was riding super cool bikes. Like we're talking about Ducati 916 and that kind of shit.
Like the gangster one.
Yeah, exactly. And then I met Remy, like I was like 19 years old.
Your uncle was a mafioso.
Yeah, I kind of. So yeah, I met Remy. I was 19 years old. He was not riding a motorcycle at that moment. But
then your uncle's like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah,
because
ride a bike.
He was a rider, but
but I got my driving license at 18 years old, which is the legal age in France. Yeah. I got a bike. 6 months later, I got a huge crash on the highway. So it kind of
shocked you.
Actually, no. It's just that I took the insurance money because a few months after that, I was going in Miami as an exchange student, so I figured that the money could be used
in Miami.
In Miami. Yeah. So at that time, I didn't really know what kind of motorcycle I wanted to ride, so I took a break from motorcycle.
And then we met, and then like a year after, 2 years after, he told me like, you know what, like I'm missing riding a motorcycle. I think I'm gonna buy a new one. Okay. However, I want to share that with you. So don't buy a stupid sports bike, like when I'm above your head, like buy something like cool, you know,
Practical.
like yeah. And I don't
Functional.
want like, of course, when you have your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband riding a motorcycle, you're always like worried. But like, I don't want to worried because you have a stupid motorcycle. So let's try to buy something like
It's worry less.
yeah,
that's
exactly.
where, yes.
And that's how real our motorcycle life started, because Remy was looking for a bike.
And I'm too short for a GS, so I ended up with a Bonneville.
That works.
And while he was looking for this bike, you were on some forum about the Bonneville and everything.
Yeah, because I knew I wanted a Bonneville, but I hated the way it looked stock.
Yeah.
So I was already on forums to see what I could easily do to the bike to make it look nicer. And that's where I met some of our best friends. And we later created that group called the Dandy Riders that later transformed into organizing a festival with 12,000 people and all that.
Amazing.
And that's how we met Remy, the founder of Baak. It was, you know, in this like kind of big but small world back in France.
No, this is why I'm asking. I'm seeing how
Yeah,
this all.
exactly. So we were like, I was always a passenger, and I was like, we were doing like not the commute, but you know, in the weekend, going up in the mountain, or you go to the beach. It's easier to park, especially like in France. In France, you ride a motorcycle kind of because you have to, because it's complicated to park.
Yeah, the streets are more narrow.
Yeah, exactly.
more-
So that's how everything like really started with my adventure and motorcycle. And I didn't have my license back in France, so we arrived in the US, starting back. Say, okay, I think now it's time for me to get
license.
my license.
Maybe.
I think it's that too, and it's so easy here compared to France. Like
To get a
France,
license?
yeah, like in in France you have like
So
you
in
have three exams. First you have the code.
the
theory.
theory, where you have to study for
The written test.
the written test.
Yeah, but that's a long thing. Like you need to be at
It's like you got to go to school and take
yeah,
a
exactly.
class.
You need to go to school. You need
University,
to
yeah.
watch. Like you need to learn at school. It's not something you maybe now you can do it, but at when
So
like
basically, you go to
no, go ahead.
you go to a driving school. It's a real thing. In France, you go to the driving
Yeah,
school.
because in France we learn how to drive and how to ride.
Oh, everybody?
Yeah, like we have
You see, that's cool.
yeah, that's a
So
proper school.
it's called a driving school. So you go to driving school. You sit in a room and you learn about road signs, a lot of things, and then you have to take a test. Once the driving instructor thinks that you can take the real test at the local DMV, he says, okay, but you can be in school learning about signs and all that for like 3 to 4 months. Then you take the written
Yeah,
test.
basically it's
3
like
to 4
it's like
months learning
Yeah.
signs.
Yeah.
because basically because there is a lot of students and not that there is a certain number of person who can pass this exam per day or whatever. So if you go to pass the exam, you need to have it. Like there is no okay, let's give it a try. No, you need to have it. So I think when I was learning to drive a car, it was like minimum 40 hours learning how to.
Who wants to get their license? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, but there is no option. And but at least after that we
Is there a ceremony when you get your license? Like,
almost like you
Oh,
know
no,
where's the
there should be.
There
There
should
should be.
be.
So once you get your written test, now you can learn how to drive a car, and we drive manuals.
No, we were talking about bikes, but
But yeah,
the same.
bike is the same. So you have your written test. Now you can go on a motorcycle. First, we learn how, the gymkhana thing that the cops do between the cones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go on the parking lot,
course.
basically like the safety class. We have the safety class here.
Yeah.
You don't have to take it, but it's still a thing.
So you spend easily 15 to 20 hours on a parking lot going super slow, and we're talking about 5 miles an hour between cones. Then you're going 20 miles an hour, and you need to do emergency braking, you need to do a swerve and all that. And after that, you can learn how to ride a bike on the road, in the streets. And then you can maybe take your exam.
What a headache.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then when you got your exam, you cannot ride any motorcycle. Like you have to. What's the?
So now for the first 2 years, you have to ride a bike that has a power to weight ratio under a certain number. So that's why the 300cc and 400cc market is booming in Europe. So that's for the first 2 years, and then you have to take another exam.
That's right. I've seen that.
And
I've seen those licenses that you have to do different tests for
You have
Yeah.
the
A1,
CCs.
yeah, like A1, A2, and A. So A1 is under a certain power to weight ratio. That's where the 300 to 400cc bikes come in. And then after that, you have to take another exam. And then you get your A2. And
Which is more CC, more power.
more CC, more power. Than, for example, you can actually take a Triumph Bonneville and have it
Modified.
It's basically just the throttle cannot open all the way. So and
It's
that's
restricted.
and that lasts for another 2 years. So you're 4 years in, and you still cannot ride a
Full potential.
full potential.
So
It's really about trying to get your like a progression in your riding skills, because
No, it makes all the sense. But my question to you both would be: is there any statistics of how many accidents are in France versus in the United States? What's the percentage of motorcycle riders in the population, and then how many accidents do they have versus population here? Like if you break it down in percentage, is it really helping, or is it also a bit? I mean, I see how it would help, but I want to know stats. Or is it also just like an insurance business thing where it's
I
like
don't have the stat specific for motorcycle, but I read a stat is like there is 3 to 4 times more people dying on the road here in the United States compared to France.
on motorcycles?
General
yeah.
motorcycle
Car,
and
But
cars.
that doesn't. So accidents or just deaths overall
Death from accident.
from vehicular.
Vehicular accident. Yeah, there
Got
is
it.
about 3 to 4 times more people dying on the road.
But that's so hard to compare.
And
also-
compared to the population, like
Wait.
we are there is like
Compounded to the population.
Right. So based off percentage
Yeah.
and overall whole
But
numbers.
also it's very hard to compare even in terms of percentage, because here in the United States, the motorcycle use is much more recreational.
that
it's-
too.
People use their
That's a valid
motorcycle during the weekend more for fun. When if you go to any big city in France, in Europe, you'll
In the world
yeah,
in the world, you'll see people riding to and from work.
with multiple people on the motorcycle.
yeah, that's
Yeah, multiple, maximum 2 in France,
I was in India 5
up to 5 in India.
on a scooter.
We were in Indonesia and it was crazy, but yeah.
Indonesia, yeah.
So there is a completely different vision of motorcycle and use of motorcycles.
And also, don't forget, in the US, there is some states it's like forbidden to ride a motorcycle during winter.
Yeah.
We don't have this kind of restriction in France because we can ride a motorcycle like
No matter what.
yeah.
Yeah, all year
Because
long.
it's people's it's affordable transportation, and
Yeah.
it's the only way to get around.
A lot of people
Are you
for
okay?
yeah. It's just that Laura is pushing down on the cables.
Always.
A lot of
Always.
like surrounding.
Yeah.
Look at your surroundings. A lot of people would have a 125cc scooter for Monday to Friday to commute, and that thing would be trash, like because it's parked outside. There's a top case, so you can throw your
It's in the
your
snow,
helmet.
it's in the rain.
It's in the rain, and then they have their weekend motorcycle that is parked, garage, taken care, covered, like
They use Right Clean.
the right clean to make it all shiny and polished.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
there is a lot of difference. So
And
it's
also, for
hard.
example, in Paris, you don't have a garage,
No.
like a garage. You
Yeah.
like your bicycle, your motorcycle, your car is parked outside. So you don't want to put like too much money, and you don't have a nice bike because someone can
Can
steal it,
steal
can
it,
steal
can
it,
take your tires.
or damage it or whatever. So it's like, and everything it's smaller in France. Like the house are smaller, so most of the time you have one car garage. You don't have any room for like 20 bikes. Even if we have friends who have like, you start with one and you never stop.
So this is why you guys got the 7,000 square foot warehouse.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, we are. We have some friends that take advantage of that. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, and also
I
because
I have that bike, and can I park it at back?
and also
Yeah, of
because
course.
Baak is also working on Land Rover Defender. We are working on it right now. Yeah, sorry for the cable. So we are taking at least 25 years old Land Rover Defender, and we are changing the engine to make it 100% electric.
Yeah, you're good.
So we needed to have a big space to also be able to have
No,
those Land Rover Defender.
I'm teasing you. No, you don't have to justify your warehouse. You can get a 70,000 square foot
Yeah.
warehouse.
I wish so we could
yeah.
put planes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, no, do not justify that. But I do find it interesting because I've mentioned this in previous podcasts. What's interesting about LA is that everybody drives everywhere in LA. If you go across the street, you have to drive.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go to
You don't
7
walk.
down the street,
Yeah,
you
no one is walking except the tourist.
Nobody's walking, and not even them. They have to take cars because you can't go from Hollywood to Santa Monica to Beverly Hills, and you have to drive. And a fun fact, which I've said this on the podcast many times, is the reason that is because LA was built around the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When LA became popular, the car was popular. So then our blocks are bigger, our streets are wider, and everything. But places like New York or Europe, they're so old that, the streets are very narrow. And the reason they were narrow is because back then they had a function. They created shade for people that are walking. You wouldn't get hot. And now that the city's developed, it's like they had to adapt, but you're still limited on not having a garage, places, motorcycles are more convenient. I believe it's the same thing, and I'm just kind of guessing, but there's things that motorcycles can go to that cars can't go through because of the width and the size, and it's just more convenient overall, and it's more practice.
Yeah.
And I've said this, I've been to many countries, and it's just crazy overpopulated with scooters and motorcycles, and that's the transportation. And then here, one of the safest countries in the world, people look down like, oh my God, you drive a motorcycle, and I knew somebody that died on a motorcycle. I was like, why are you telling me? Like, I already committed. Like, why?
And also in France, like for example, you need to pay to use the highway, and it's cheaper when you are on a motorcycle.
Interesting. And gas is cheaper, and insurance is cheaper.
And you don't need to pay for parking.
Affordable.
You don't need to pay for parking.
Yeah.
Now you need. Like in Paris now, you
In
have
Paris
to pay
you need,
for
but
parking.
The other day we were in Pasadena, and I was trying to find a place to park a motorcycle, and I gave up, and I went to that parking structure, and I went to the attendant, and I said, "Can motorcycle park for free?" She looked at me and she laughed. She was like, "Nope, you pay." I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why should I pay?
It sounds like it was a Chinese one.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But yeah, I
Sounds
don't.
Asian.
I don't understand. I'm not gonna use a parking spot. I can park on the side. Why should I pay? It's very different way. It's maybe it's because I'm European and I'm used to not pay for parking on motorcycle.
Yeah.
But
So you can park wherever you want.
yeah, you can park on the sidewalk.
Yeah, we used to park like, Friday evening, you want to have a date, take the motorcycle to go to your restaurant, you park in front of the restaurant. That is like,
Yeah, of
you
course.
don't spend like 20 minutes looking for a parking spot to say like, okay, I'm going to spend $20 in a private parking or whatever for the night. Just take the motorcycle, park in front of the restaurant, and you're all good.
You see, but here's the thing. You could do the same thing here, but we're so fucking traumatized with tickets that we don't.
Yeah.
And I had a theory on this. I was in China. I was in Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, and we had drivers take us around. And I was like, oh my God, Chinese drivers, right? And then I was like, oh my God, they're good drivers. And like literally, I'm like, they're great drivers. We're going through villages and we're going through the city. We're going through town. I'm like, these are great drivers. And anyways, I had this little thought of like, what happens to people when they come into this country? Why people are such bad drivers? And it's that the United States has a lot of laws and rules and signs, and no parking from this time to that time, no parking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, that's
Don't take a
very
yellow
confusing.
park, because if you take the yellow light, we're going to give you a ticket for $200. If you smoke a cigarette and throw it out, that's $500. There's this penalty. Your insurance is going to go up. We're going to. It becomes so overwhelming that when people come here, they're like, and then the regular people that live here, like, babe, move out of your way, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
people pay more attention to, they pay too much attention to what they risk instead of actually driving.
back to that mind thing from the beginning, where it's like we are our own.
Yeah, we are our own, how can you say? We are our own,
How do you say it in French? We are our own
let's say we are our own lion.
lion.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You know, we are just, we are,
yeah. That
no,
makes. Yeah.
it's just that we pay attention too much about the risk.
Yeah, we create our
we,
own problem.
We worry about art. Exactly. We worry about. I say this every now and then. My grandfather used to say this. People like to suffer.
Yeah.
People like to suffer. You know,
Somehow,
it's like, hey,
yeah.
go over there and just walk straight. And people are like, no, I'm going to go the long way, and then complain about it.
I was listening to a French podcast about happiness in general, and the woman who was like doing this podcast saying like it's more complicated to be happy than to be unhappy. Like, you know, it's easier in the morning to be moody, to be, I don't like this, it's complicated, my husband like snore during the whole night, I'm moody and whatever. Like, no, like it's
Yeah, you
more
hit your
complicated
foot,
to choose to be happy and to relax about everything. Like, being happy takes time and takes energy. When being unhappy and moody and hungry, it's easier for us as human beings, and that's crazy. Like,
Well, it's crazy, and it's how our brain is programmed, and our brain, and it's interesting because our brain is programmed to protect you, okay? But by protecting you, it's being extremely lazy.
Yeah.
So if you wake up and hit your foot, your body's like, yeah, look, see. The world is dangerous.
Yeah.
Go back to bed.
It's going to be a bad
Don't
day.
go to work because you can get hurt. You can die. And
Don't ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, don't get in the car. Don't talk to nobody. Don't look. And your mind is like, you don't want to go to the gym. The gym's, it's heavy, and there's germs, and there's probably COVID.
You're gonna sweat.
and you're gonna sweat, and you didn't take and it's our fucking mind, and it's just a defense system. And this is why it's so hard for people to accomplish and get work done, because they buy into the story that your brain is telling you.
yeah, your
And
brain is your worst enemy, and you need
your brain-
you're always fighting your brain. Like, you know, every
Yes.
every action you're doing, everything is happening to you. You have like two solutions. Like, either you deal with it and it's gonna be fine,
Move forward,
or
yeah.
either you say like, no, I'm gonna die. No, I want to be alone. No, I want to do that. And okay, like, go for it. You have
have to
one
go for
life.
it.
Go for it. You have one life.
But just to add to about the brain, about being an enemy and your worst enemy, is the funny part is your brain says, don't do this, don't do that, be careful, don't. No. But at the end of the day, your brain says, you lazy shit. You did nothing. You let a whole nother day pass. You failed again. I win. You're dumb. And this is our brain about ourselves.
Yeah.
That's
You
so
know?
true. That's crazy. Like,
It is crazy. And what's crazy is we know it, and we fall for the trap.
yeah.
We fall for the trap because it says, hey, eat a cookie. Get the baguette. Put extra butter. What cholesterol? Dip it in the
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
I'm
not
ve-
it.
I'm guilty.
No, we all are.
Yeah,
This is why we're in such a failing society in many sense, and this is why people get stuck in this this pattern of obesity,
Because also it's easy when your brain is your worst enemy to say, yeah, don't go to work, just don't do nothing.
yeah.
And you start your TV and you have Netflix. Everything is at the reach of your thumb.
Yeah.
And everything is provided to you nowadays. So
The instant gratification.
you don't have to fight for it.
Yeah, but on the other way, like now with like all the social media, and you have like those like fake entrepreneur, and you can go for it. You are like, you can do
You believe that
anything,
you can do it, yeah.
But and in other way you have like, it's okay not to be okay. Take the time. It's okay to be sad today. Like, be sad today. Tomorrow is gonna be a better day. Like, you are always, fighting those two. And
You don't
like,
know who to
as an
listen, what to
entrepreneur,
do.
like
and,
you say, like, okay, you know what? Okay, today I'm not okay. Like, I'm not gonna go to work because, like, I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna cry. Everything is gonna be like a mountain. Everything's gonna be complicated. So, okay, you know what? I'm taking the day off, and tomorrow is gonna be better. But in the other way, you say like, no, I can fight it. I can be better. I can do better. I have to be better. So you're always like
battling.
you're always battling, or you're always fighting and trying to be better every day. And then you have this whole like fake world around you, and you compare yourself, which is super, super bad. Trying to see like, oh yeah, but this person, like, I saw him on Instagram or whatever, and he fought it and he won. Yeah, but no, he didn't have any trouble. Like, it was a fake one. It was like a fake mistake or whatever. It's just like showing off on Instagram.
No, it's very simple. It's very simple. Number one, you have to fight.
Oh yeah,
We're being distracted. We have a roof over our head. We have controlled temperatures. We have flat surfaces. We have light. We have electricity. They're making it so we don't have to fight, but we have to fight all the time. And then for the law of attraction is very simple. You have to attract positive things, but you have to work towards those things. So the perfect example is, if I sit here and I say, I'm going to join the Olympics and I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I visualize that I'm going to win. I'm going to win. If I don't train and just visualize, I'm not going to I'm not going to do good. But if I'm training and I'm waking up early and I'm visualizing and I'm saying, I'm going to win, I'm going to train, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a coach, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, you have a positive mindset around you.
Exactly. If you have a positive mindset and you're working towards your goal, awesome. But if I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm the greatest podcast in the world,
what it's like.
But I don't need guests, and I don't need to publish, and I don't need to do social marketing, and I don't need to contact anybody. Then I'm going to fail.
Yeah.
So that's very simple.
Yeah, of course.
And you have to stay positive. There's a debate right now about the sad days or the depression or whatever the case is. It's not something you catch. It's just your situation kind of sucks and you need to change your situation. And if you change your situation, you wouldn't feel the way you're feeling. So change your situation. I mean, it's kind of simple.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of simple.
But we complicate it.
But
we make it complicated. And something that we are every so often reminded is sometimes just take a break, take a step back, and look at what you've accomplished over the last months, 6 months, and year. And you're like, oh shit, that's very nice. I did that. I overcome that challenge. I went through that problem. And we don't do it enough, but it really helps you moving forward and say, okay, I'm not the same person I was a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. Now I can do more. I can do better, or I can improve that, And that's very important. And it really helps us building back and building other project. And it's very important, at least to me. And I feel like we need to do that more, taking that step back. And
you are lucky.
Yeah, because I have you.
Oh, no, but like you also have the thing, like, yeah, of course we need to do that. Sometimes you just like breathe and look around you and say, okay, this, like I did that. Of course, I had the help. You cannot do anything by yourself. We are together. We have the support of our family. We have great people around us. But you have also those people who say, yeah, but you are so lucky. You are so lucky you live in LA under the palm tree. And it's like, right now in France, it's raining, it's cold, it's winter. Like
here it's very cold too.
Yeah, it's
right?
It's like 65.
It's almost 70. Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, you're lucky. Like everything is easy for you. Everything is easy for you.
Yeah, you're spoiled.
Yeah, of course. And like, sometimes like you're fighting and say, yeah, but no, I had these difficulties and this has happened to me. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm not going to talk to you because if you think I'm just lucky, like you didn't understand a thing about what's happening to me right now. And I'm sure like you're lucky. Like, oh, you have great guests on your podcast. Oh, you're just so lucky.
Yeah, it just fell on your lap.
Yeah, exactly. Like
No.
No.
It just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. People.
It's important to also kind of do a selection in the people that surround you. You want to surround yourself with positivity and people that have kind of the same mindset and want to bring their life to the same point or towards the same direction as you. Because if you keep people around you that are very negative and that say, "Oh, you're lucky," it's gonna be taking up of your time to try to resonate with them or to talk with them, whereas you could do something better.
Think about the 5 closer people, the 5 closer person you have around you. They define who you are. Those 5 person, if they are negative, if they are like lazy or whatever, this is who you are too. So trying to surround yourself by like, it's not like you need to have like better person and you need to take advantage of person or whatever, but you need to be surrounded by people who have the same mindset and wants to
have the same goals,
like
share.
you, exactly. And this is
help
like
you grow.
Exactly, and this is super important. And right now we have like one of the first girl I met here in LA is a French girl called Han, and she's also starting a business. And you know, we have always the same way to think, and I just want her to have success. So it's not because I'm working with her or we're talking about her business, I'm gonna fail. No, I want to push her. I want her to do better, to go bigger. And sometimes you say like, okay, like it's you do what you want to do, but this is what I think. Maybe it's not the right thing. And say, yeah, I'm not agree with you, but you know what? I'm gonna take it, put it in a corner in my brain, and at the end, it's gonna still help me to grow and to develop my business and develop my creativity and everything. And you know, having this kind of conversation with like independent person and creative person, and even if it's not an entrepreneur, even if you're an employee and you love riding a motorcycle and you want to create something, it's like amazing to be surrounded by those kind of people.
It's so necessary. And if anything, that'd be my main question. My main question would be like, why do people resist on helping people? And sometimes it's worse. And I've said this many times. Sometimes it's your own family. Sometimes it's your own family saying, you can't do that. You're going to move to Los Angeles? Well, that's stupid. I thought you went in 2016 and it was dumb. You know, and people, you're going to start your own business. You're going to quit your job. You're going to marry him.
And what if you fail?
Yeah.
What if you fail?
Yeah. When we were
Let me try.
When we were
and
moving,
you know what? I'm not going to fail, because if I'm failing, I'm still learning.
Right.
And I'm going to start again.
Right.
some people, when we were preparing a move to Los Angeles, were like, how long before you come back? How long do you give yourself to decide whether or not the business is going to be successful enough? I was like, shit, I'm not
Even thinking about that.
if I think about that, I'm not doing it, and I haven't stepped foot in Los Angeles. I don't know. Maybe in 10 years I'll be still struggling, but as long as I want to struggle, I'll struggle. That was such a weird question.
You're always struggling because you always want more and everything. But like, we are still here after 4 years, after COVID and after everything.
Which is the biggest test ever. Yeah.
We are still married. That's a good one too.
Because working together is not that easy. You need to find your rhythm. You need to find your system on, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I keep Laura doing whatever she does and she's good at. So we don't step on each other's toes, but it took some time to find the rhythm. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not easy for couples to be married, have a child that just sleeps on podcasts, and run a business and deal with clients, and then have sales and shipping and logistics and emergencies. Somebody's bike breaks down and now you have to pick up the bike, and can you pick it up? And you can't move the bike. You have to move the bike, but I can't drive because it's one of the hardest things in the world, I think, is working relationships on a business.
Yeah, but at least we understand each other.
Yeah.
And if a customer calls us on a Sunday morning, say, can I come by the shop like now? we're gonna say yes together because it's our own business. It's not like, let's say the more cliche, like the wife is staying at home and the man is like working a lot. I understand, like, as a wife, you don't want your husband to leave on a Sunday at noon to go to see a customer. But when it's your own business, and it's like a really bad cliche, obviously, I just say. But when it's our own success, so we're going to say yes.
No, you're gonna hurry him. Hey,
of
get
course.
out of here.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's going to say like, you know what, I'm going, stay at home, it's okay. Or sometimes say, okay, I'll go, it's okay. But yeah, we have the same goal, so it's easy to understand each other.
Well, I'm very impressed. I'm very proud of you guys. I wish you tons of success. We did 1 hour and 35 minutes. Please let the listeners know what's your website, how can they find you, what's your social medias, if you guys want to share how to get a hold of Baak.
So the website is baakusa.com. That's BAAKUSA.com. You can find us on Instagram, BaakUSA. Again, BAAKUSA. The profile
if you send us a DM on Baak USA, it's going to be either Remy or I who answered the...
So you both run the account.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mostly Laura.
If it's a technical question, it's going to be Remy.
Right.
Yeah, but Laura does an amazing job at running the Instagram page. Baak USA, the profile picture is the logo, but with a blue background. If it's a black background, it's the French page. Baak USA on Facebook, and you can find us on Google. Also, you tap Baak USA or Motorcycle Shop LA. We are almost at the top page, and you can come to see us at the shop. We can meet at the bike shed in London.
Not in London.
It's because I was looking at the cabin.
Tricked you.
Yep. We can meet at the bike shed in Los Angeles, and we can meet anywhere. We can meet in Malibu. We can go ride, and you can find us easily.
And then, real quick, you mentioned what are the next few events you guys have coming up? You have one on December 2nd, you said?
December 3rd. So we are organizing a ride every first or second Saturday of the month.
Depending on the beachside moto. We just
collaborate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they do one, we do the week before, the week after. So that's noon.
Yeah. So you want to go? So you can find our calendar on the Instagram page. So December 3rd, we're going to do a ride around Baak and barbecue. And then we're going to do rides every month. And in June, we're going to do a camping trip.
Wow. That's going to be exciting.
So that's going to
Joshua Tree or?
It's basically around the Lone Pine area.
Okay.
So very cool.
It's not like a camping trip. It's more like a ready to camp location. It's 1 hour and a half from LA. It's called Utopia. And they already have like small cabin ready. So
Set
you
up,
just,
so
exactly.
Just
So
right
they have
there.
a restaurant. So you just right
Sounds
there.
like my kind of camping.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so what we're going to do is we're going to leave from Baak right together. And we also want to give the opportunity to families to join us at the camp. So if, for example, you want your wives and your kids wants to come at the end of the day in a car, they can join us. They have a big pool and we can at least enjoy the evening together. And on a Sunday, we can still also like share this moment together and not just about motorcycle.
That's very awesome, guys.
Yeah, so that's going to be June 10th of 2023.
Yeah.
The big two events coming are December 3rd of 2022 and then June.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, I wish you tons and tons of success. Thank you for being here. We
Thank
will
you so
do this
much for having
again.
us.
Thank you very much.
And until next time.
Until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.